Radiant and Resilient is about mindset and faith to break paradigms and overcome challenges in our life. Because when the mind, body, and spirit are aligned, we literally radiate from the inside out. I'm Kay Vasquez. Let's dive in. One of the most common challenges that my clients come to me with is their sleep, getting good. And so in this episode, I really want to dive into it because, as you're aware, if you've been listening for a while, you know that Radiant and Resilient is all about overcoming challenges in our health, our life, and our business. And one aspect of health is sleep. So if this is the first time that you are tuning in and listening to Radiant Resilient, welcome, because that's exactly what this is about, is identifying the challenges in our health, life, and our business. And by overcoming these challenges, we can use mindset and faith to really optimize every specific area, which then increases the radiance that is within us, because when mind, body, and spirit is aligned, we radiate from the inside out, and it helps to increase our resilience. So when we are faced with future challenges and obstacles, we're able to navigate it with more ease and grace. And so the one thing that I really want to dive into is sleep, because in my opinion, sleep is probably the most important lifestyle factor that we need to prioritize and are not prioritizing. For me, my energy is everything. My energy is so important. How I feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like, at the end of the day, everything is energy. Everything comes down to energy. And there are different things to increase that energy, that vitality that's within us. And sleep, for me, is one of those. And I think it should be for everybody else, right? And so I really want to dive into how do we improve our sleep, which is going to increase that radiance within us and help us to build that resilience. So, like I said, one of the most common things that clients come to me for is sleep. Because what I found is that a lot of people are not getting good quality and quantity sleep, which then impacts our health and impacts our resilience. And they are looking to things over the counter, like supplements. I have a lot of clients coming to me taking melatonin, for example, just so they can get some sleep. But the reason why they have poor sleep is not a melatonin deficiency. And we're going to dive into why. So the first thing that I want to say is that it's not only important to get a specific amount of hours of sleep, so say 7 to 8 hours of sleep, because studies show when we get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, that's when that's enough to support our health, that's enough to support our energy, to help us function our best, right? And so I used to think that I was getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. And it wasn't until I invested in the Oura Ring that I learned that I was in bed for 7 to 8 hours, but I actually wasn't getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So we commonly think that if we go to bed at a specific time and wake up at a specific time 8 hours later, we're getting that amount of sleep, which is not true at all, because it takes some time to fall asleep, and we might actually be waking up in the middle of the night. So it actually shortens that time frame of getting a specific amount of sleep. And that's what the Oura showed me. It showed me that I actually was not getting enough sleep per night. And not only that, I realized since I started to go to bed a little bit earlier and increase the amount of time sleeping, I actually feel my best getting 8.5 hours of sleep than getting 7 hours of sleep. I am way more functional throughout the day. And I feel like my brain can work more optimally. And I just feel my best physically, energetically, and emotionally too. Because if I'm not getting enough sleep, it impacts my mood. I notice that I'm a little bit more irritable. I'm a little bit more edge, or I experience a little bit more anxiety when I'm not getting good sleep. So I share this because a lot of the times we think that, okay, if we just get 7, 8 hours of sleep, that's enough. But it's not just the quantity of sleep, it's also the quality of sleep. And again, that's where the Oura Ring was really insightful for me to help pinpoint how can I improve the quality of my sleep. And so not only increasing the time frame, I also noticed because it shows like our resting heart rate and our heart rate variability, which is our ability to adapt to stress and handle stress. When I was looking at these metrics, I was surprised to see my heart rate and heart rate variability start to change as I implemented some tweaks and changes, because before I would go to bed, I used to try to squeeze in, try to get everything done before I went to bed. Then I would go take a shower, brush my teeth, and jump right into bed. And I didn't realize how much that was impacting the quality of my sleep. And so I started implementing a wind down routine. I would wind down like 30 minutes before bed, then an hour before bed, and eventually an hour and a half before bed. So just experimenting with different times. The amount of wind down varies from day to day, but what I found for me is if I can wind down at least an hour to an hour and a half before bed, that actually improves my resting heart rate and my HRV. And this was a really important insight, because now not only was I sleeping 8 to 8.5 hours, I was improving the quality of my sleep. Energetically, emotionally, mentally, I felt so much better. It helped me to reconnect to that radiance and build that resilience when I was faced with challenges and obstacles in my life. And so I share this because we're not aware that the quality is just as important as the quantity for sleep. And there are simple little things, simple little tweaks that we can do to improve the quality of our sleep. For me, it was winding down before bedtime. And winding down looked like turning off electronics, turning off my phone, turning off my laptop, dimming the lights, putting on calm, relaxing music, sometimes drinking chamomile tea. I have a PIF mat, a pulse electromagnetic frequency mat, that I will lay on. There's different settings. Setting number 1 is to help with deep sleep. So if you don't know what the PIF mat is, it literally sends electromagnetic frequencies into the body. And the frequency is associated with deep sleep. It helps calm the body down. And so when I put it on a deep sleep, I feel so relaxed. Sometimes I end up falling asleep on the mat, so I have to be careful how long I'm spending, but it helps to relax my mind and my body. But the key is to relax the mind and the body. Because if the mind and the body is not relaxed before bedtime, it will affect the quality of our sleep. So once I started to become aware of how can I improve the quality and quantity of my sleep, I started diving into sleep with my clients. If my clients are able to invest in it, it makes it so much easier, because then we're able to get the data and then make the tweaks necessary, but it's not necessary to when working with me, we can still make tweaks and changes just by tuning into how you feel. And the key to know if you're getting good quality quantity sleep is to check in. When you wake up in the morning, do you feel rested or not? If you don't feel rested, that's a sign you're not getting either good quality or quantity or both of sleep. And so if you're not feeling rested, if you're able to fall asleep and you wake up not feeling rested, you're not getting good quality quantity sleep. So then it's looking at the time you're going to bed, time you're waking up, sometimes extending that, but also are you waking up during the night, and what's causing you to wake up in the middle of the night? And there's so many different factors that can do that. 1, sometimes the glucose is dropping in the middle of the night. 2, in women, when they're in their luteal phase, when progesterone's increasing, can also, like if our body temperature is hot, that keeps us up at night. Also, if we have a lot of stress, if there's stuff that we're processing in our subconscious mind. So what I like to tell my clients, our subconscious mind is like a computer, and we have a lot of tabs open that are running in the background. If that's what is happening as we go to sleep at night, all the stuff that's happening in our subconscious mind is running, it will affect the quality of our sleep. We may be a little bit restless, find ourselves waking up in the middle of the night. So there's so many different things that can impact that. So what I would do working with my clients, especially when it comes to optimizing the quality and quantity of their sleep, I would order a couple of different tests. 1, sometimes I put them on a continuous glucose monitor just so I can see what is their glucose doing in the middle of the night. And there were a few clients that I worked with where their glucose levels dropped. And by adding in fats right before bedtime, so like a tablespoon of MCT or a coconut milk latte, those healthy fats actually stabilize their glucose through the night, and they were able to sleep. And just that little tweak alone helped them sleep through the night, which improved their sleep and improved their energy during the day. And then I also have my clients do a hormone and adrenal test, because the cortisol levels are wonky we need to address that. That's where we dive into the mental and emotional stuff to look into the subconscious mind. Bring to conscious awareness all the tabs that are still open that are running in the background that we need to close. We need to close to calm the mind. Because when we can calm the mind, then the body is calm. Because if we are living in survival during the day, it's hard for us to go to sleep. Because think about it. You know, if you're trying to go to sleep, but you're in survival mode, the subconscious mind is constantly scanning for threats. It's going to be really hard to feel relaxed enough to get that quality sleep. What I noticed is that on the tests, it also shows melatonin level. And all the clients that I tested did not have a melatonin deficiency. Even the ones who were taking melatonin, they had to stop before doing the test. They didn't have a melatonin deficiency either. To me, it was like, well, what was the root? What was the root cause of them not getting good quality quantity sleep? And as I've shared, you know, it's diving into these different lifestyle pieces, but also where are they mentally, emotionally before bedtime? Are they calming the mind before bedtime, which helps to calm the body and help the body feel relaxed? So one client I worked with, I had her do a brain dump before bedtime. And just the simple tweak and change of just doing a brain dump, getting all the thoughts out of her head, all the to-dos, the things that she was thinking about, writing them all down, helped her sleep through the night, which also not only improved her sleep, but also improved her energy during the day. Again, a simple little tweak that can make a huge difference and improve the quality of her sleep. If we're constantly thinking about all the things that we have to do, it's going to be so hard to relax the body. And she said, like, when I did that brain dump, it was like my mind and my body could relax. She finally got good quality sleep. She didn't have to take a supplement. And so I share these things with you because this is something that I see with all the clients that I work with. We are constantly seeking the answers and solutions outside of us. And my clients will ask me, like, what supplement do I need to take? And I'm like, it's not that you need to take a supplement. Let's tune inward. Let's see, what are the limiting beliefs? What are the patterns, the conditioning? What are things that you're holding onto that you're not releasing at the end of the day that's keeping you from getting into a calm state to relax your mind and your body? Because that's what's impacting your sleep. And once we can release that, yeah, there are some things we can support physically in the body, but we also need to tap into the mind and the emotions and help you to release and process that stuff. The bottom line was that, like I said, it wasn't a melatonin deficiency. It wasn't a supplement deficiency to improve the quality and quantity of their sleep. The common root cause in all of my clients was that there was something missing. It was a deficiency in peace. So I really want you to think about it. If you are not getting the best quality and quantity sleep, get radically honest with yourself. Is it because you don't have peace? And it makes sense because the reason why we are in survival is because we're operating from fear. Fear is the opposite of peace. We can't experience peace if we're focused on fear. And that's because we're trying to do all these things, get all these things done. There's something that is bothering us, whether we're focused on trying to control a specific situation or an outcome or person, things are happening that are outside of our control, or we're focused on lack, not enough. It's all rooted in fear. And when we are focused on fear, it's going to send us into survival, which is going to impact the quality of our sleep, which is going to keep us from experiencing that radiance and building that resilience. So when we are faced with challenges in our life, it's going to be so hard to navigate that. That's why I cannot express enough how important it is to get good quality quantity sleep, because even though we are spiritual beings, having a spiritual experience in a physical body in this physical realm, we still need to take care of our bodies and our bodies need sleep, because when we get good quality quantity sleep, that's when our bodies are able to rest and restore and repair itself. There's so many studies that show if we don't get good quality quantity sleep, it increases inflammation, it suppresses our immune system, it dysregulates our glucose, it affects our mood, it affects our ability to respond, to be able to communicate, to be able to connect. And when we get good quality quantity sleep, we feel so good. And I always tell my client, when you get good quality quantity sleep, you now have the energy to make changes, to make tweaks, to support your health, to take action and go do the things that you are inspired to do to make that impact in the world instead of running on a low battery. Because if you're running on a low battery and you're not getting good quality, you're putting your sleep, on the back burner, it's going to catch up with you. It's going to impact your mind, body, and spirit to the point where your body's going to push back and say, no, enough's enough. And something's going to happen to force you to slow down. And we're not meant to constantly hustle and go. We're meant to slow down, tune into and support our energy. And so one of the best things that you can do is plan your day around your sleep, because most of us tend to try to squeeze our sleep in around our day because we have so much we need to do and get done in a day. We put our sleep on the back burner. We sacrifice our sleep, but that's the worst thing you can do for your energy, for your health, for your mind, for your spirit. We need to prioritize that sleep first, because when we get that good quality sleep, prioritize a day around that, everything else falls into place. So I wanted to share that with you because this is something that I see so often in my clients, and it's been a game changer to be able to come in and help them see where the imbalances are, to help them identify the little tweaks that they can make to improve the quality and the quantity of their sleep, which makes a huge difference in how they feel and how they show up, to increase that radiance, that vitality within them, to be able to be more resilient. And I want that for you. So if you found this helpful, please let me know. Send me a message on Instagram at the Kate Vasquez. And if you want to dive in deeper, say you're making little tweaks and changes, but still not getting good quality sleep, or you really want to dive in deeper into the mental, emotional, as well as the physical, to identify where those imbalances are. What do you need to support not only physically, but what are the tabs that you need to close in the subconscious mind? That's what I'm here to do. So book a connection call. Let's chat. I'd love to dive in more and explore what it would look like to work together. Because ultimately, like I said, when we're so disconnected from peace, it's going to impact the mind, body, and spirit. And as long as we're seeking to achieve peace outside of us, we're never going to find it. It's until we tune inward, do the inner work, reconnect back to that peace that's already within us that comes from God. That's when the mind, body, and spirit are going to be aligned again. That's when we're going to feel our best self. That's when we're going to be radiant and resilient.